been a 6-pounder a little while back when it was full. But today we've got a grasshopper. Oh!
Hey, welcome to Bats and Bonsai.
Okay, we jumped to the other tree and instantly I think I like the other tree, but I think I like this tree better. I started looking in here. I maybe have opened this one up at some point and it's starting to grow back. But the side I really like is when I turned it this way. I don't know if you can see that. See how this already comes up. We already have an apex. It's already there. So all I need to do is clean this tree back out. I guess maybe I did it one time and over a season of growth it's just kind of filled back up. So I'm gonna open it back up and we'll see what this one looks like. Same process I did on the other one. All right, I'm running out of daylight, so I'm gonna stop here on this one. I got that one over there, part of the way done. I'll try to kick back in here tomorrow, finish them both up, get them put in pots. This one's gonna be a cool look. It does have 2 branches here. I may take one off or I may raise one, or I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. And I gotta thin out this and decide on these 2 that are right here together. Do I want to keep one, kill one off, take one completely out of the mix? So that's what I'll be thinking about. And that's a good idea too. If you get to working on a tree and you get it opened up, it's okay to just stop, come back at it the next day or something. You still got it in the original pot, and you know, think about which way from there, since you know what some of it is already doing, which way you want to go ahead with the styling of it. So okay, this is day 2, maybe part 2, or I may have these all together, but we're working on what is the second tree we started on. We're just going to try to finish it up, thin it out some, and hopefully get both of them into a pot, maybe work on the other one a little more. But this is the apex on this one, and it's very, very bushy. There's actually 2 separate parts that come out that we could turn either one into the actual apex of the tree, so I'm still working on that. I think I'm gonna have to thin the whole thing out a little more to just figure out exactly what I'm gonna do with it. So I'll do that and come back. All right, we're looking at the top of it. I'm standing up now, and I just was going to show you some of the littler stuff. You kind of want to clear out off even the top of the branches, trunk line, that little stuff that's growing right along the edge, to kind of open it up in case you want to wire it, or just to show more of the trunk and branching itself. There's a lot of that little growth. You can get it from the top side, bottom side, whichever way. It's a good idea to open that up just a little bit to see what you're working with. And I'll sit back down real quick. You can kind of see it starts to open up the tree. We've still got a lot to do here. I think I'm going to take all this lower stuff is so low and comes out, so I think I'm going to kill off everything that, say, from here down. I'm going to kill off those branches, except there's like 3 of them, except for this one in the back. And I think this is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. And this one has a cool twist. I like the way it twists and comes down here, so I think I'm going to leave it, kill off those other lower ones, and that'll be like our first low branch. And then this one right here will probably be our second, and almost straight across from it, and I'll probably bring it up, will be our third, and then I'll bring the apex up and something. I don't know what I'm going to do over here yet. All right, hopefully you guys can see what I did there. There was one in the very back, this little one, and then a couple bigger ones over here. I've taken them out. I'm still debating. There's another one kind of here that's pretty thick. I may cut it back some, but now I need to take these lower branches, they're just too big. They stick out too far, and I need to cut them back, probably like to here, chop this guy like to there, just kind of condense the tree down somewhat. The smaller you can get the foliage overall, as far as to the size of the trunk, it'll make it look like that much, you know, the trunk that much more, I guess the tree that much smaller, but the trunk that much bigger, if that makes sense. So I guess I could show you what I'm doing with the first few branches. And whenever you go to shorten them up, you can see how long that is, and it comes out from the trunk. So somewhere in here is where I want to shorten it to. So I'll come in here where one of these pads ends, probably way up to here. You can make out where that goes in. I want to leave just a touch for dieback, but not a lot. I want it to be able to grow over it fairly quickly. And I'll just cut it off, get that chunk out of the way, then I can come in and kind of get it a little bit, just a little bit off the underside, just where it doesn't show that much at all right now. Eventually that should grow over. And then the same thing on this one. Now it could be twisted up and in, but there's just so much there. I don't need that much. And since you already have the growth going in, you don't really want to, you know, pull it all out. And so when you're starting a tree into a bonsai like this, or a bush into a tree, you can kind of cut some of this outer stuff off. We'll start right there and see what that looks like. That's probably good. Maybe just one more. Probably to there. You can see we've already brought it in that way a little bit, and we'll do that the rest of the way around, especially on this back side. Now this back one, I'm thinking I'll leave it alone, unless the last few trees I've done always end up when I'm done, what I've had picked out as the back becomes the front, and I don't know why, but I think this one, our front will be somewhere right in here. It's looking still like the front so far. And then this will be our big first lower back branch filling in the space here. This will come up somewhere, and what we'll kind of do is this tree will sort of start here and kind of come around once I thin out some of these branches, and just kind of come into this up here, kind of almost have a twist like a lot of my trees tend to end up looking like. Getting closer. I have by thinning it out a little more, discovered that this is definitely a smaller, you guys can make that out, that is a branch, and there's where the continuing of the trunk line goes. So this I'll probably bring up into here somewhere, maybe even pull that down a little bit. I'll probably clear out these two to make this like a branch down here. There's also another one up here that sticks out a little bit that'll come down for a branch, and I'll kind of stagger it up like that. So to designate and get that where you can see more of it in a separation, you see like I done there. And I'm still not sure which way I'm going to twist or bring this straight up or what, and then thin it out a little more and thin this out a little more. But something like that. Okay, I'm at a standstill again. I'm sitting here debating on which way to go, if I should take more foliage off or leave it for now, because if you remember how bushy this thing was from the beginning of this video, I've taken quite a bit off, and it is sort of summertime. It's first week of June basically. I think I may just put a little wire on it and get that to go up, thin this out just a little, but then leave this. I don't really like this. It kind of, you know, I've got these branches that just kind of twist around. I don't know if I really like that. I guess it's a style that a few of my trees have. I'm thinking I should just take off a lot more of those. I should thin this out a little more, and this is a bottom branch. or lower branch I'll leave, but it needs thinned out also. Thing is, I've already taken a lot of foliage off. I'm going to try to put it in a pot. You know, it's a big pot. I won't have to do much. I guess I could show you real quick before I switch over to the other tree. This thing is about ready to fall apart. There's not really a lot of roots taking up all this space, so it'll definitely go, you know, without, I probably only have to cut the root ball, just knock off this bottom part, put it in that pot we have over there, and it will work, I imagine. What was this thing called? What were they selling it as? Juniper, I can't even talk. Juniperus Pro Nana Dwarf Japanese Garden. So that's what we bought it as. It's not anymore. It is already, right now, officially, I could call it a bonsai tree, right? Could you call it a bonsai tree? Looks like a bonsai tree, smells like a bonsai tree. It's a bonsai tree. All right, back on this one now. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. Kind of working on both at once. They both have a similar look. They're just big and bushy, and I don't want to take crazy amounts of foliage off, more than what I already have or did yesterday, because they're, you know, I want to be able to style them up next year. Again, this one, I don't know, I can't figure out which way to go with the top on this one. There's just so much, I don't know if you can make it out. It twists back down around here. Here's where the original trunks, one went over here that has the cool piece that I like, but it's like almost straight out. I don't really like where it's at. Then this one did a cool, nice twist down over here, spliced off actually into 3 parts. We killed that one off. The 2 lower ones we kind of turned into branches. We've got this thing up here that makes sense to use it for the apex, but then we also now have this stuff growing. I could just kill this off and leave this as the apex. Maybe get rid of this thing here, would probably open it up some. I don't know, let me think on it. Okay, boys and girls, this is why I like to, if I'm stumped at times, I like to just come back to it. I was thinking I needed to have this as apex, this is apex, and leave some of this, but I've changed my mindset. That's going to be the apex, this one here. This one probably won't be created as deadwood, but I'm going to do something a little different. I may cut this part here off, thin that down a little bit, and then turn that to where it looks like just a branch. But I haven't 100% decided yet. But what I have decided to do is I'm going to finish killing the rest of this part off and this one. The whole lower part of the tree, if you can make it out from here, the branching I'm going to kill off and then use what's above it to bring down. So then this I will pull down somewhere in here, and this one here I'll probably pull down also just a hair, and then style the tree up like that. As you can see, that made a dramatic change. Killed off all of this, and now we're left with everything up high. Still not sure what to do with this, so that's going to kind of be the back of the tree. I'm just going to leave it for now. I am going to try to thin this out. I'm going to leave these littler branches. It's got pretty good branch work started there, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to thin this one down a little. Not sure what I'm going to do with this guy. He's kind of all here by himself. But since this is going to be our front, I know it's kind of crazy with all the deadwood going, but I love deadwood. I love deadwood. You guys know me. I love deadwood. But what I am going to do with these 2 branches here, and I may just for now stick this one under there and put a little piece of wire to hold it there, because it's going to set somewhere right in here. Then this one just a little lower. This is going to be our new apex. And then this I'm going to turn into probably just a branch, sort of by cutting this off right here. And get rid of that Probably leave that much right there. And then by the time I get done here, pulling this one down with that, I'm going to thin out this apex a little and probably do away with this littler guy here. I don't know, he may serve a purpose at some point right in here, but I'm going to thin that out just a hair. This will be pulled into there if you guys can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. Looking like a bonsai tree, not just a average ordinary bush. YouTube famous.
Oh,
All right.
Woo!
That is a very nice grass. Let's call it. That's the biggest one I've caught this year.